Hi guys, welcome to Mala's Verse. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. So today's reading is going to be about what do you not see about yourself that others do. And we have three piles to choose from. The first one is the self with 29. The second card is, or the second group is the mirror with, I guess it's 68. And the fourth group is Eros. It's 62, probably. I'll have to check. So take a few deep breaths. Breathe out through your mouth, being present in this moment, letting yourself relax into this moment. And letting your awareness or intuition guide you to whichever pile you are drawn to. You are more than welcome to choose one or more piles. Hi, pile one. If you chose the self card, this is your reading. So, this card is actually representing the overall or core energy of what you don't see about yourself, but others do. And literally, you've got the self. So, it's you, pile one, that you don't recognize how valuable you are or what you bring to the table. Because even with the colors and the wide range that's been dissected into, different segments as well, I perceive that you may not recognize, but you are such an allowing energy, you're such a non-judgmental energy that people recognize this about you, and they're seriously like very very grateful for that energy of yours. They adore your calmness and peacefulness, sorry, peaceful energy. And it's that nurturing soft energy of the pearl that you bring. It's a very cooling soft, again that word, calmness is coming through. Like whatever energy a person is in, especially if they are in a negative or hyper excited energy, which is like hyper excited in a negative way, or in an unproductive way, you help bring them to the center, to their own center with just your energy. I do perceive this pile might have a very big aura and a very strong one as well. So that's the overall energy, and it plays out very well here in the cards as well. So these two cards, Five of Cups and Four of Wands, represent in your personal life what people recognize about you that you do not. And with Five of Cups and Four of Wands, I do perceive that you are a person who provides a lot of information in like emotional ways, and also helping people be, basically you are their cheerleader, and you help them recognize that essentially you put this, there's no point crying over spilled milk. That kind of information or that knowledge, you impart that into the people around you, especially in your personal life, in a very cheerful and uplifting way. Like they don't feel bad about crying over that spilled milk, but they also recognize the value in what you are telling them, which is to recognize these two cups are upright, that there is a hope for a brighter future, and double the time, so not just one single chance, right? You help them look at the future in a very hopeful manner. You are the person who might be standing at the end of the finish line, cheering them on when they're completing a task. Where maybe they're literally completing, a marathon, and you are there to cheer them. For many people, you may not recognize you are probably amongst amongst the many people in their lives, in each of these individuals' life. You might be the only one, or amongst another person, you might be the person alone with, you know, I, what I'm trying to say is that either it's just you or just one more person who's supporting these people, like truly supporting them or cheering them on, is what I'm receiving. So, they don't have a lot of cheerleader kind of people or uplifting people in their lives, and you are that. You provide that uplifting energy, and you really help them feel empowered. With the yellow card here, I do perceive that you bring a groundedness in their emotional turmoil, and thus because of that it creates a snowball effect of them feeling more confident about themselves, about life in general. And you are the one who provides that support, that structure in their life, where they feel secure in celebrating themselves and celebrating especially wins that are not tangible, but more so wins about overcoming emotional and mental challenges. You are that person for them. And professionally, it's such an intense energy with the Ten of Swords and the King of Swords. The people around you, especially in your professional life, while one, they recognize how many betrayals you've seen, and you still stand up. And you are not even the page, you're not the knight, you are not the queen, you're literally the King of Swords. They see how you rise up, and what the demand that you put of being respected, and it's not in a negative way. People respect you. You may not recognize this. Some of them may even fear you, because they're actually astonished as to whatever challenges you went through, and how you've picked yourself up and you're sitting on this throne as a king. They might be intimidated by that, in that sense, like you truly are a tough cookie to crack. That is the energy that they may perceive, and so they're inspired by you. Many of them might even feel very protected in your energy. They do perceive you to be a protector. And especially, I do perceive that this comes through in the form of providing the right advice, the right knowledge, the right skills, or whatever, the right information, so to speak, to these people, and they admire you so much for it. I mean, it does get clarified with these two cards also at the bottom of the deck, which is the Emperor and the Hierophant. Someone who is self actualized, especially I would say in the mental plane. And more so with the hierophant, people do look at you as someone who provides them the right information, who's providing them divine information also. Maybe it's just information you are providing them that's practical in nature and may not be that big of an advice, but for them it feels like it's an answer being given from spirit or from the universe. And that is how in professional life people do see you. They truly admire how you have picked yourself up after the Ten of Swords pile one. And now moving on to how your spirit guides, or even your higher self, what they see in you that you don't. And we have the Six of Cups and we have the Judgment card. So I perceive that because you may have a very strict or hard attitude towards yourself, and so you don't recognize actually how soft your energy is and how much you care for others around you. But your spirit guides, your higher self, does see that. They look at you as someone who genuinely wants to help people, and not just wants to, they genuinely do help people. They are basically, because I did not observe this earlier, but there's this shadow figure in this house here, and they're looking at these two kids, probably. Like, that's how I am perceiving it. And I feel like you help people, and the efforts you put in to educate people, to help them feel at ease also with their emotions, to be softer towards themselves. Your spirit guides and higher self is, they are as a team looking at that, and they're appreciating and admiring it very much. They do perceive that, not just perceive that, they know that you are listening to them, you are listening to your calling, even if you don't feel that way. It's a very strong energy here that you are on your path, you listen to what spirit has to say, even if you feel that you may not be doing this. Because I do, like I said, I do feel like this pile might be quite hard on themselves. So now I'm going to pull one card as an affirmation for you, pile one, which you can take a screenshot of just to close the reading. And even with the artist, at the bottom of the deck here, you may feel that you are someone who's quite practical, but and not so artistic, but you are quite artistic. And not just artistic in the terms of creativity, but your thinking is quite creative. Your solutions or your way of looking at life is quite creative. It's not very rigid or logic based in a I don't want to say demeaning, but diminishing, sorry, yeah, diminishing or constructive. Your creative thinking and your imagination actually helps you look at life in a very expansive manner. But how the way it is being represented here with the self card also, like you look at life with all its colors and you embrace it all, and your spirit guides and higher self see that about you. So let's see what is the affirmation card. I'm being guided to pull two for you, one and two. Let's see, what do we have? We have, I choose love no matter what. Wow, I think you already do this, but affirming this to yourself might help you be not so hard on yourself, pile one. And then we have attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Wow. I just feel, I mean, this affirmation could be for you for sure. It is for you. But more than that, I feel like this is who you are. You know, like I was saying, you are in allowance of all sorts of people because you recognize that attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation merely calls for help from others. Like they might be reacting, but you are learning or you have learned to not take this personally. And if you are still learning and you feel that you get, swayed into people's judgments of you, recognize that it's just their call for help. And with your light, you trigger that within them because it's a cleansing process that's happening for them. So remember, I choose love no matter what, pile one. So, pile one, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi, pile two. If you chose the mirror card with the number 58, I hope, or 68, sorry, this is your reading. So, 5 is a strong number here, and very strongly the signs that are coming through are water signs. So especially I would say Cancer and Scorpio and Pisces as well, but the strongest is Cancer here, with the moon being here, the Queen of Cups also here again, divine feminine, but like mother energy, and we have Queen of Cups again here, and we have the Empress, so that's Taurus and Libra energy. So you can if that resonates with you, great. Even if not, these energies are very strong in you, pile too. So with the mirror card, what I'm receiving is that you may feel like you trigger people because in some way, shape, or form that you mirror people's, habits and their energies to them. You may feel that you are probably someone who people will not like, but that is far from true. They admire you, and some of them I do feel like they are a bit intimidated by you, pile number two, especially because of your heightened awareness, your heightened intuition. And with the mirror card, it represents the overall or the core energy that you don't see about yourself but others do. And with that, what I'm receiving is your intuitive insights or intuitive information, or you just casually saying something that you feel is intuitive, might trigger people because you might be saying the truth and they would not want to reflect that, or not reflect that. Wow, they don't like the reflection of what you say, and more than that, I would say they will not confess this to you that you are right about certain things, especially I would say like pain points or places which are hurting them, and they know they need to change. You knowingly or unknowingly bring awareness to those parts, which triggers their improvement if they choose to do so. But because it's a triggering point, they may not receive you well, and I feel like you might have been gaslit for the information you have shared, pile two. Especially your intuitive information, I must say, you might have been gaslit and I would say by people who either are in your career in some way, shape, or form, or influence your career in some way, shape, or form, and mostly people who are not so happy with your intuitive prowess, I would say, or psychic prowess. And people who are, so these two cards here, the Six of Wands and the Empress, is actually representing in your personal life, what do people recognize about you that you do not. With Six of Wands and the Empress, yes, many of them see you as someone who is successful. Now, I do perceive this to be very much career oriented also, But the other thing that's coming through strongly is with the Empress card combined with the Six of Wands, what I'm receiving is that people in your personal life genuinely admire and almost get inspired as well by the way you take care of yourself, especially your emotional needs and your physical needs. I do perceive that you are someone who prioritizes self care in every way, shape, or form. Specifically, this could be physical well being as well. And this physical well-being may be you having a proper diet, or by proper I mean whatever is proper for you and true for you. Other than that, this could be, maybe related to clothes or what you eat, what you wear, or even your health routine, which is, I mean, by that I mean your gym or physical routine as well. Beyond that, it's mostly how you are gentle and caring with yourself. It's the mother that you are towards yourself that helps you get a lot of wins in life, is what people might feel, but they may not have shared, or even if they have shared, but this is something you may not recognize. They did that they genuinely admire your self love routine in all forms. Self love in terms of being disciplined, self love in terms of being, kinder towards yourself in your meethi wani is in Hindi, but that's like sweet, kind words, loving words towards yourself, even after exhausting yourself through a war, maybe. Because Six of Wands, if it's a person, being victorious after a war, and after the war it's very exhausting, so you give yourself the grace to rest and recuperate, and that is also that something that inspires people. And I perceive that that's the energy you bring to the table, and they feel very mothered by you. So some of you literally could be mothers, but others of you have that soft mothering energy, especially that nurturing energy. And with the Six of Wands, I would say it's a good combination of nurturing and also building a person up, building a person's morale up. So, and with kinder words, maybe even with nourishing food, taking care of the physical vessel is the strongest here in some way, shape, or form. And the combination of your intuition, your spiritual strengths, your spiritual awareness. Now, moving on to your professional life or professional circle, what people admire about you is literally your intuition, pile two, but they are scared of it, is what I'm receiving with the Nine of Swords here. Like they're intimidated by how good you are with your intuition and how aware you are. I'm getting goosebumps on my body. So that's like a double confirmation. Like people are actually SHIT scared of you, and you finding out things about them. Whereas I don't feel like you are interested even a bit. You are just doing your job, and they probably even want to learn from you. How are you so intuitive? They do see you as someone who teaches them, just by being who they are, like you being who you are teaches them to be more open to the spiritual or intuitive, even information. So with the Nine of Swords, these could be people who are very logical, more left brain, more focused on scientific reasoning, and that's completely fine. You should be inquisitive and have all your truths be ticked, right? So in that sense, these could be people who are skeptics, but your intuition actually almost, scares them because it's that accurate. And especially in terms of when you want to soothe these people, and I would say not these people, but the message that you might be sharing online or with them in general conversation is so well timed, or the words are the perfect words that they needed to hear. So they're actually feeling like, are you spying on them? Are you, intuitively getting information on them, etc.? But I don't perceive that's true. You just focus on your own cup here. Now, looking at how your spirit guides and higher self are proud of you, so that must be one thing for sure. But what they see in you that you do not, you literally a mother, because we have a so pile two, as I was saying, with the Six of Cups and Queen of Cups, you literally are, your higher self and spirit guides look at you as a mother, as a divine mother, someone who is always offering like a medicinal energy to those around them, and especially emotionally, I would say. Maybe you are somebody who provides, spiritual solutions, and with the purple flower here, I'm time and again getting like you may provide solutions or insights or just tips and tricks that helps people have ease with their crown chakra and third eye chakra. So their intuition that they receive from their intuitive knowing as well with the crown and what they see. And with the death card, the interesting bit is with, and I was just getting, drawn to the death card and the mirror. And what I was receiving was, you are someone who will go through an ego death if required, which is to shatter the mirror of false illusions about yourself. Even if, shattering a mirror is not just, it's not a very wonderful sight or an activity to do, but you will give yourself the grace, even if it doesn't sound like grace to many, because it's a tough thing to do. It is an intimidating and exhausting thing to do, but you will go through that process. You will give yourself the opportunity to re-emerge, to and I feel like that's the energy you bring to the table for everybody, the rebirth energy, to re-emerge from really false beliefs. And I mean, by really false beliefs, I feel like beliefs that keep you stuck in, or stuck in a rut, or make it feels like a cesspool that you are, and that you feel like you cannot get out of, and it's over also consuming. You give yourself the permission to move beyond it, and for a while you may feel like you're just flailing about in the air, but it is required for you to have a rebirth, and you have that capacity, and especially your higher self and spirit guides recognize this about you, even though you don't. Pile 2. So pile 2, now I'm going to pull a card or two as an affirmation for you. You may take a screenshot if you require by pausing the video in between. So let's see what affirmations are coming through. So we are going to take two affirmation cards. I'm not pulling that one. Okay, we have one here. Wow. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. That's what you surrender. You surrender to the process, no matter how intimidating it is. So, that is one affirmation. File 2, you can take a screenshot of it if you would like. And the other one is I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. I think you embody this very well. And if you feel like you need to remember this amongst the chaos of life that happens almost all the time, please do take a screenshot and remind yourself that you are a spirit having a human experience and getting closer to love. So, pile number 2, that is all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for joining once again, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the Eros card, this is your reading, and this is 71, I guess. So adds up to an 8. And the Eros card actually represents the core, or like an overall energy that you may not recognize or identify about yourself that others do. And Eros is about sensuality, right? It is about really diving into various pleasures of life, and more so diving into something without boundaries, without any borders, without being perplexed with what will people think, what will happen if I do this, do that. You don't have that kind of a thinking or an energy. At least that's what people do recognize about you. It's very black and white. If you see that, that's the interesting thing. So to understand, and it's just coming to me in a very interesting ways. If you look at the image here, it's gray in color, but the card is black and white. So to find I wouldn't say symphony, but the bridge between black and white, which is the whole spectrum of gray, you dive into black and white energies, or so to speak, that extreme spectrum of one side and the other. You don't fear experiencing that or going through that, and then you are able to find a middle ground. You are able to find or even acknowledge the whole spectrum of that gray area. With regards to any sort of information, I would say this could be very much related to your career as such, or simply in life when it comes to lessons, when it's black and white, you go through the pendulum swinging each side and then you find your middle ground. And so you are much more well aware about both situations, and you know which path to walk, and you know which is the middle path to walk. And people recognize about this about you in some way, shape, or form. And even so physically, there's like double or triple confirmation here that there are people recognizing or finding you very physically attractive, even if you don't feel that way. Pile number 3. And especially I feel like the features you may think are, you may yourself underrate about yourself, or you don't find them attractive, it is possible that people actually find that physical trait of yours quite attractive. Pile 3. And I was also getting, you bring a lot of clarity, maybe because of diving into both the ends and finding the middle way. You bring a lot of clarity, which is another thing that people recognize about you. And also the way you speak, I was also getting that, being, if you are someone who's more stern or a little like disciplinarian in your energy, you may not recognize it, but people admire that about you. Because we have Queen of Swords here also. So that strict energy might make you think that you are quite strict and you are very stern or aggressive, but actually people get inspired by it. They, are able to, they basically stop running here and there, and they pay attention to you and they find value in what you share, especially when you do it in a stern or firm manner. So in your personal life with the Queen of Pentacles and Three of Swords, that's again reaffirming that physical attraction part. So that's completely, applicable for this pile in many ways, almost three times, I would say, because we do have the Devil card also, which is about, your physical body as well. So there is that attraction. But more than that, the first message that came through is people in your personal life are actually in awe of you, especially the way you recover yourself from heartbreaks. And you do this by connecting a lot with nature. And I feel like they are in awe of how you naturally find healing, or you, and by naturally, I mean, this could be your soul's way of healing, in your own ways, learning your own methods to relax yourself and nurture yourself. It could include Ayurvedic or alternative healing methods for you. So it could be yoga as well, or in general, just connecting with nature and finding your footing, your grounding through heartbreak is something that is very inspiring to people. And because you are able to do this for yourself, you provide the same energy for the people in your life, especially when their expectations are not met. You provide that safe space, that alone time. They're not alone with themselves, but they're alone with you, and in that space also they feel very nurtured, very cared for, and they know that they can be at ease, and open up that entire box of wounds and move through it without any judgments from you. And because of that, provide a firm footing for them as well, a foundation for them to deal with their emotional wounds, and you may not recognize that about yourself. So yeah, pile 3, that is the safe space, that grounded energy that you provide for those in your personal life. And professionally, it's just so funny that we have Knight of Cups and Page of Cups, and they're facing each other. So what that was telling me right off the bat was, you may consider that your childlike playfulness is, not received well, but it very much is. Especially I feel like if it's, work wise, if you bring some fun energy to the table, and even if it's not fun, like fun activities, but the way you might share your thoughts in a creative way, maybe you express what you have learned in a very creative, maybe even a poetic way, and that is very much admired by people. The other thing that you may not recognize is, you may feel that you are not so well, I wouldn't say well like, but you are not someone that others are pursuing, but that's far from the truth. So the Knight of Cups does feel like people are wanting to pursue you, and more than that, I feel what they look at sorry when they look at you, they definitely find you very charming, someone quite majestic, very soft in their energy, and also very I would say quite flirtatious. You do make a lot of people's heart flutter. Pile 3. You may, and I don't think you recognize this at all, because it's a very strong energy. I just feel energetically, basically, quite intensely, that you may not see it that way, but people do find you to be quite flirtatious, very, very charming, very good with their words. And voice is something that's coming through very strongly. Even with the mouth here, I was getting that. And I did mention, whatever you share, and we do have the Queen of Swords here. The Queen of Swords is here at the bottom of the deck, also beneath the Empress. So it's like this combination that you provide, which is of the Empress and the Queen of Swords. And this is specifically for the workplace, sorry, or your colleagues. And the Pentacles here, it's like you provide that good mixture of discipline and also a lot of nurturing, mothering energy. This, it feels like people know that they can come to you for solutions, and more so, I would say, like career wise and money wise, like they, because money is such a taboo topic when it comes to talking about money in many places, and at large in society even now. But I mean, I do feel like that taboo is slightly shifting. Yet I do perceive that people don't mind sharing their monetary issues as well with you, and they somehow feel like your energy itself will give them, that awareness as to how they can create abundance for themselves. And the way, or what your spirit guides and your higher self recognize about you that you may not. For that, we have the Eight of Swords and also the Queen of Swords. So that tells me, just a moment, that tells me that pile 3, like I said, you dive into the white and the black completely, and then you find your middle ground. And in that sense, with Eight of Swords also, I feel like so like you don't mind calling yourself out on BS. You don't mind calling yourself out when things get rough, and you are being the problem. And that's what your higher self and spirit guides recognize about you that you may not even recognize. And it's like you give the devil a run for its money, especially when it's the time to bind you. You will cut that shit like no one's business. You are like, yep, I'm sitting here, I have my sword here, what is it that you want to trigger me with, what is it that you want to bind me with? And then you remind this person that you are casually holding this sword which is going to cut through any and all crap. I do perceive these the people in pile 3, you might be connected quite strongly with Archangel Michael, or you definitely resonate with the energy of the sword of truth, because you are actually extremely truthful with yourself. That is what is creating this aura, also this magnetizing aura around you with the eros, which is drawing people in. Pile 3. So your higher self and your spirit guides recognize this about you, that you will not let the devil ruin your day. And also, because of this, because of the clarity of mind that you have, especially the truthfulness you have towards yourself, in terms of recognizing where you are sabotaging yourself or being a pain in the ass for your own self, and breaking free from that, because you recognize this, you are able to bring in the right people with the Four of Wands. You are able to connect with the right people or know who are on your team. File number 3. So, wow, I wonder if you recognize these things about yourself, or if you take it lightly, please know this is not a light message for sure. Your higher self and spirit guides and even people around you feel all of these things quite strongly. Now, I'm just going to pull one or more cards, whatever comes through, as an affirmation to close out the reading. So, you may take a screenshot if you would like to. So, let's see. One is here. All right. So, we have two cards here. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. And I feel like this leaning on the faith of universe is you surrendering to either of the sides and letting it play out, and then recognizing what is true for you. Because once you are at ease with whichever situation you are in. You recognize, you bring in peace, and then you recognize what step to take next, and you're able to figure out your own, as I said, middle path. So that's that's an affirmation you can, remind yourself of, take a screenshot if you would want. And then we have joy is the ultimate creator. And it's interesting that I placed it with the page of cups here. That's what, I do perceive that you bring a lot of joy, especially in your work, and with your colleagues or your classmates, batchmates, whoever it is. But you bring that joy in, and it is so deeply appreciated, more than you realize. Pile number 3. So joy is the ultimate creator. That's another affirmation for you, and you can take a screenshot of this if you want. So pile number 3, that is all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in future readings. Thank you. Bye-bye.